I discovered most parents don't track their children's food intake on spreadsheets until they're 18. I was 19 and eating lunch with my college roommate when I mentioned that my mother would want to know the calorie count of my sandwich. My roommate stared at me with a confused expression and asked why my mother would care what I eat at college. That's when I realized most parents don't weigh their children weekly and maintain food tracking spreadsheets from age 8 to 18. Food was never just food in our house. It was numbers, measurements, and data meticulously recorded in my mother's blue binder. Every Sunday morning before breakfast, I stood on the bathroom scale while my mother recorded my weight to the tenth of a pound. Every meal was pre-portioned, every snack accounted for in the daily log she kept on the refrigerator door. Just helping you develop healthy habits, she would say, tapping numbers into her calculator. You'll thank me someday when you don't struggle with your weight like I did. My mother had been overweight as a teenager and was determined to spare me from what she called the family curse. The system began when I was 8 and mentioned that a classmate had called me chubby at recess. By dinner that night, the first version of the tracking sheet was already taped to the fridge. I grew up believing this level of monitoring was completely normal. I thought all mothers measured cereal with kitchen scales and counted out exactly 12 grapes for their children's lunchboxes. I assumed everyone's parents kept spreadsheets tracking their children's BMI percentiles from elementary through high school. The first time I ate at a friend's house in 5th grade, I was bewildered when her mother didn't write down what we ate for dinner. When dessert appeared without anyone calculating if we'd earned it with our day's activities, I felt a mixture of exhilaration and guilt. How did your mom know if you're eating right? I asked my friend later. She just makes normal food and we eat it. She shrugged, looking at me strangely. I dismissed this as her family being unusual, not mine. By high school, I'd internalized the monitoring so completely that I maintained my own shadow spreadsheet, sometimes skipping lunch and logging it as eaten to create a calorie deficit I never told my mother about. I learned to discreetly check nutrition labels and mentally calculate running totals throughout the day. When friends shared birthday copying in class, I would accept one, take a ceremonial bite, then discard it while calculating how much extra physical activity I'd need to compensate. My sophomore year of college, my roommate Emily noticed me weighing my cereal one morning with a pocket food scale. "What are you doing?" she asked, genuinely curious, making sure I have the right portion. I explained as if it were obvious. "But why? Are you on some special diet?" The conversation that followed was eye-opening. Emily explained that in her family, food was just food, sometimes healthy, sometimes indulgent, but never tracked, weighed, or calculated. Her parents had taught her to listen to her body's hunger cues, not a spreadsheet that night. I called my mother as I did every Sunday to report my weekly weigh-in and food consumption. For the first time, I questioned the practice. "Mom, did your parents track your food like this when you were growing up?" I was the fat girl in high school. "I am just making sure you don't go through what I did, but I am in college now. Don't you think I can manage my own eating?" Her silence spoke volumes. "I suppose," she finally said, sounding uncertain. "But you'll still send me your weekly numbers, right?" It took 3 more months and 6 sessions with the university counselor before I could tell her no, and another year before I could eat a meal without mentally calculating its numeric value. Now at 26, I'm still unlearning the idea that my worth correlates with numbers on a scale or spreadsheet. Sometimes I catch myself hesitating before accepting unplanned food or feeling the urge to log what I've eaten. But I am working on it. Childhood leaves invisible marks on all of us. Some parents track their children's growth in pencil marks on door frames. Mine tracked it in Excel or spreadsheets that quantified every bite and ounce. I am still figuring out what normal actually means when it comes to food, but I know now it shouldn't involve quite so many calculations.